What's up YouTube, Gemini Johnny back again with day 3 of the 25 days of creepy, where I'm taking you through the weirdest, creepiest, and most disturbing TikToks I can find every day for the month of December until we count down to the 25th where we'll do the ultimate insert your holiday here marathon. I know it doesn't work with the holidays, just whatever. If you haven't already, be sure and check out my out of place artifacts video. I'll put it up here or something. But yeah, without further ado, jump right in.
Legend or lie, the Elms Hotel. In the summer of 1880, a man desperately looked for aid for his sickly daughter who was ailing from tuberculosis. When he found no hope from any doctors, he turned to the Native Americans who told him of a natural spring which had natural healing powers. When the man dunked his daughter into the water, he was amazed to find out that she got better. The legend of this girl who was cured of tuberculosis spread like wildfire, and thus the town of Excelsior Springs, Missouri was formed. In 1888, a few businessmen hoping to cash out on the town's newfound popularity opened the Elms Hotel. It was an immediate hit, and guests from all over the map came to see the mineral water baths that this hotel provided. Everything was going smoothly until 1897 when the hotel burned to the ground. But these owners were not ready to lose such a profitable endeavor and began to rebuild immediately. After many strange and mysterious setbacks, they finally finished the hotel in 1908, only for it to burn down again in 1909. Although no one was hurt either time, rumors spread of a curse around the land. But no curse was going to stop the almighty dollar. So these developers got together and built the hotel yet again, this time making a fireproof structure that opened in 1912. This time the hotel became a hotspot for organized crime and drew the likes of Al Capone and other prominent gangsters. Nowadays, legends of hauntings run rampant in the hotel. There is said to be a gangster who got shot during Prohibition lurking in the basement, ghostly maids approaching other staff members, making sure everything's running smoothly. And perhaps most strange of all, a distressed mother goes from floor to floor pounding on doors and begging for her child back. Is there some strange mystical properties that allow ghosts to haunt the halls of the Elms Hotel? Or is this all just a lie? Let me know what you think.
Is it all a lie? Are you making this up right now?
Unintentionally disturbing characters from children's shows, Part 3. The giant walrus, from Pingu, was a character who appeared in one of Pingu's dreams, frightening and torturing him. Coraline's other mother, from Coraline, was the main antagonist and a demonic shape-shifting entity who lures children into another dimension for taking their soul. Radafuck, from SL Neko, was a creepy human-looking puppet and one of the hosts of the show.
Yeah, the last one was terrifying.
To anyone who may be triggered by these topics, or anyone who's faint of heart, please keep scrolling. Serial killers from every U.S. state, Part 9.
Why we got the same haircut?
While Florida has seen the likes of Aileen Wuornos and Ted Bundy, one unknown serial killer makes this list for her brutality alone. Christine Falling became known as the babysitter from hell when she choked and killed 5 children in the early 80s. Including an 8-month-old baby. She was just 19 years old when she murdered the children. She pleaded guilty and said she killed the children she babysat just to satisfy a sudden urge to choke them, according to the New York Times. She was sentenced to life in prison and is still there to this day.
That's how that goes.
This is York's infamous plague house. This little house in York is the site of a terrible tragedy and what some people claim to be the most haunted house in the UK. Hi guys, I'm on a work trip here in York to do a Halloween live stream, and I wanted to tell you about the horrific tragedy that happened to the family who lived here in this little house in the shadow of York Minster Cathedral. In the late Middle Ages, the family who lived in this house contracted the Black Plague. Terrified, the townspeople bricked them up inside their own home to prevent the spread of infection. Soon, the whole family inside the house was dead, apart from their youngest daughter, who was free from disease. Despite this, the people of York refused to let her out. They abandoned this girl inside her own home, surrounded by her dead family. This little girl cried at the window for days until she eventually died of starvation. There have been loads of sightings of this little girl's face looking out of this window. And during our live stream, our producer tried to get us to communicate using some questionably effective ghost equipment, and we thought it said my name.
What's your name? McKenna?
I heard them say McKenna.
There are some facts that you probably didn't know that one day could save your life. Part 22. If you sit down to use the bathroom in prison, take 1 foot out of your pants completely. This way, if someone tries to attack you, you can get up and fight back. If some guy ever offers you polar bear liver, do not eat it. It contains a fatal amount of vitamin A. People who are looking for trouble are less likely to go for you if you say hi or simply let them know you're aware by introducing yourself. If you're buried underneath rubble and are unable to yell for help, grab onto something, and tap in intervals of 3. It's more likely that rescuers will notice you because of the unusual pattern. More people are killed by vending machines than shark attacks or plane crashes combined. So if your snack gets stuck, it's not worth it. If you crash into an electrical pole, stay in your car and call 911. It's possible that you downed an electrical wire, meaning the entire area around your car is dangerous. If you're caught in a flash flood, realign your body to where your feet are pointing downstream. This way you'll crash into something with your feet rather than your head. Do not feed honey to a baby under a year old. It could lead to a disease called botulism, and trust me, they do not want that.
It was all great advice, and I would add one thing. If something ever knocks on your door in the middle of the night, nothing's there, don't open it.
Pictures that took over the internet, part 2. Up first is the Taurus World Trade Center photo. The tragic events that occurred on September 11, 2001 were brought back into sharp focus with this image that apparently shows a Taurus on the top of the building right before the plane hit. And believe it or not, mostly every single person on Earth believed it, until it was proven fake by the wrong airline on the plane. Next up is this photo. This photo absolutely baffled the internet, and for good reason. It shows a baby in the womb's footprint pressing through a pregnant woman's stomach. Even though this is physically impossible, many people still believed it, and it went insanely viral. Finally is this picture. This might have been the first viral photo ever on the internet, and it shows a guy about to get eaten by a shark while hanging out of a helicopter. This photo was believed to be true by many, but as you suspected, it turned out to be fake.
Creepy last words people said right before dying. Retired registered nurse Shirley Smith said that she had a rich patient who was a true Satanist. She had upside down crosses and a satanic Bible at her bedside. The patient was dying of cancer, and Shirley will never forget what happened. It was the middle of the summer, and yet it was unbearably dark and cold in the patient's room, even in the middle of the day. There was such an evil vibe in the room that Shirley would call a priest to pray with her and her aides before they would even enter it. When the patient passed, she had not spoken in 24 hours, and then all of a sudden, she sat straight up and said, "Satan, take me." Then she fell back on the bed and died. After she died, the room got extremely bright and warm. Shirley said that when they moved the patient's body, they had to get rid of the mattress because the most horrible smell was coming from the mattress cover, and the part of the mattress where the patient was laying looked burnt.
Gross.
He was just recording his daughter. Something attacks her. A father who's home alone with his daughter begins to see something next to her that's not quite human. As he's recording his daughter, she begins to interact with someone or something he can't see.
Holy crap.
In a scared voice, she describes this thing as having an ominous smile.
Ow. What did you do? What did you do? What is he doing?
Time to bite.
What?
Time to bite.
But as she crawls quickly towards him, she complains that whatever that thing is bit her. Could this be a demon haunting this family, or is it something else?
A strange sight was captured on a home security camera in Fresno, California back in 2007. It showed a peculiar creature known as the Fresno Nightcrawler, which looked like a pair of pants walking around without a body. This unusual occurrence gained local fame, and soon 2 more sightings were reported in Yosemite National Park in 2011. The footage of the Nightcrawler spread widely online, sparking discussions about aliens and demons. However, skeptics started investigating, and a YouTuber named Captain Disillusion analyzed the footage. He pointed out that the poor quality of the recordings made it easy to fake using CGI or a modified video clip of someone wearing MC Hammer pants. To make matters more suspicious, the owner of the original tape claimed to have accidentally erased the high-quality version, making it impossible to verify the authenticity. This convenient circumstance led skeptics to believe that the entire incident was likely a hoax orchestrated by the camera owner for attention. Since there have been no sightings of these peculiar creatures before or after these incidents, unless they reappear, We personally believe that this whole thing was just a publicity stunt to promote wearable sleeping bags which resemble the night crawlers.
Where did the wearable sleeping bags come from? Is that Jose's company or something? What's happening here?
This short video has been circulating the web for quite a while, in which several people witnessed something unexplained during a quiet night in the city.
There's a witch, look. It's a real witch, look. There, look. Did you see her? Look. Yeah, look at her, look. Grab her, boys. There's a witch, look. Look at her. Look at how she moves. Yeah, look. Look at her. Hard, hit her hard. What the hell is that? Look. She disappeared.
In the recording, there's a mysterious, hunched, dark figure on the roof, and a crowd of people who seem to have noticed a rumored witch and attempted to approach her. Now it's up to you to decide whether this recording is real or fake.
I don't think they got the whole block together to film a fake witch video. They obviously saw something up there, and there was obviously something up there in the video. I don't know. Weird way to present that, but yeah, I don't know. That was really weird. It's weird how she disappeared, or it disappeared. I don't know how. Like, what? It just looked like a black figure. It didn't look like a witch. I don't know. Maybe this is their word for like ghost, or I don't know. I think they know. I think they probably have a distinction between ghosts and witches, but it was weird. How do they know it was a witch? Yeah. Creepy. Looks like the kid from The Ring, though. Why do they always use the same, like, looking kid? That one's weird. It's like a dude looking over the edge. He's got cool hair, though.
Hunter just found Bigfoot, and it's his biggest regret. 11 days ago, an American hunter, Dylan Rockville, found something extraordinary while hunting. Dylan was born and raised in Houston, Texas, and grew up loving to hunt. He is 34 years old, and every weekend goes hunting for mostly deer. However, this time he found something spectacular. He packed up his gear and the rest of the equipment he would need, and drove to the Trans-Pecos, his favorite place to hunt. After only 30 minutes, he spotted a white-tailed deer in the forest. He slowly crept up until he was about 15 yards away and took the shot. He just missed, and the deer ran off. He was out there for another 3 hours, but couldn't seem to find anything. So he stopped and sat down on a rock to enjoy a sandwich he had brought with him. When suddenly he saw a big creature walking in the distance. He immediately thought it to be a boar, but it looked to be bigger, like a grizzly bear. But this didn't make sense, since grizzly bears do not inhabit the Trans-Pecos region. Then something happened that made his heart drop. The creature stood up on 2 feet. It was massive, and he estimated it to be 10 feet tall. This wasn't a bear, this was Bigfoot. Dylan panicked and foolishly started to run to his ATV. However, the beast heard him and started to chase him. He saw his ATV in sight when the creature was right behind him. Dylan has said he is not ready to tell people what happened next. All we know is that he barely made it back alive. After the attack, he was sent to the emergency room and has vowed never to go hunting again.
The following video is quite a strange one, and obviously a bit older. It is said that a group of friends went to a supposedly haunted and abandoned building in the woods. There's a local legend about a Manangal creature that is stalking these parts of the woods, and some people swear to have seen it. The creature obviously... The following video is quite the strange one, and obviously a bit older. It is said that a group of friends went to a supposedly haunted and abandoned building in the woods. There's a local legend about a Manangal creature that is stalking these parts of the woods, and some people swear to have seen it. The group arrived at this abandoned place in the hopes to capture it on video tonight. Let's take a look.
Firefighters show up to a fully engulfed house, but thankfully the family is already outside and safe, or so they thought. After realizing they weren't going to be able to save the house, they decided to help stop the spread of the fire by dousing the surrounding areas with water. When they made entry, they looked around to see if there was anything they could save for the family since the house was a total loss. As they went into one of the rooms, they noticed a crib with something inside of it. Heartbroken, they see an infant that is not able to be saved. Suddenly, a feeling of rage and anger comes over one of the firemen. As they begin to get ready to leave the house, he sees something in the corner of the room. There was something staring back at him with nothing but a cheek-to-cheek smile and no eyes. He immediately rushed out of the house and begins to have a panic attack. Later that month, he turned in his badge and equipment and told his chief that he wasn't able to handle the stress of the job anymore and would be leaving. The man was so shook up after this incident because he personally knew the family and they did not have an infant child.
What? Kind of threw us a curveball there at the end. He knew the family and they didn't have a baby. Wild.
Legend or lie? Sensabaugh Tunnel. In Kingsport, Tennessee, there's a tunnel with a dark history. Legend has it the tunnel was named after the man who owned the land named Edward Sensabaugh. One day a hobo came to Kingsport, Tennessee looking for work, and the kindly Edward let him into his home. However, later that night, he caught the hobo stealing his wife's jewelry and confronted him with a hunting rifle. The hobo picked up Edward's youngest child, his infant daughter, and used her as a shield as he fled the house and escaped. The hobo then drowned his daughter in the same tunnel that was named after Edward and was never seen again. Edward never was able to recover from the loss of his daughter, and he began a slow descent into madness. One day, Edward completely lost his mind, and he killed his entire family, thinking that by doing so, he could reunite them with his lost child. He took their bodies to the tunnel and then took his own life. He thought by doing this, he would make his family whole again. Nowadays, Sensabaugh Tunnel is a hotspot for paranormal investigators and curious travelers. People who visit the tunnel say they can hear the cries of the infant and the screams of the Sensabaugh family echoing inside. And then there's the rumor that if you go into the tunnel and park your car and turn it off, it won't come back on, and the ghost of Edward will come for you. Do you believe the story of the haunted Sensabaugh Tunnel, or do you think it's all a lie?
This is what would happen if the world lost oxygen for 1 hour. Up first, with the oxygen gone, you would struggle to catch your breath. And your heart would start beating in overdrive. And you could expect excruciating chest pains. Next, the combustion process in vehicles wouldn't be possible with no oxygen. So any way of transportation that wasn't electric would automatically fail. This also means that planes would fall from the sky and millions of cars would be left abandoned. Oxygen acts as a special binding agent, so any building made of concrete would collapse instantly, causing cities to be destroyed and millions of deaths happening. Our ozone layer is also made of oxygen atoms that bonded to create the ozone, so Earth's protection against UV rays would completely disappear. Earth would then get extremely hot, and on top of that, Earth's crust would crumble until there is nothing left.
So in other words, we need to avoid losing all the oxygen on Earth for 1 hour. It's interesting, but are we in threat of losing all of our oxygen for 1 hour? It's just a random, I don't know, I like the guy's videos though. He seems like a nice kid. Well, there you have it, folks. That is day 3 of the 25 days of creepy in the books. We did it, we've done it, we're doing it some more. If you're enjoying this series, you can check out the entire playlist in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out my other video on out-of-place artifacts. It was really good and it took a lot of work, and I'm really proud of it. So go check that out. Merch shop is live, and until next time, which is tomorrow, stay creepy.